People don't even imagine how bad the situation is.
Oriane, a passionate 22-year-old, is dedicated to raising awareness for the climate and reducing her carbon footprint. She wants to emit only 2 tons of CO2 per year to help fight climate change, as suggested in the Paris Agreement. Oriane has taken actions over the years by going to demonstrations, reading the reports about climate change, and by taking personal actions.
The 2 main actions that I take and that contribute to reduce my carbon footprint are not taking the plane anymore and being vegetarian. And I'm vegetarian since I am 16, 17 years old. Since 4 or 5 years, I have taken the plane once. I've decided not to take it at all, or at least limit it as possible. Sometimes it feels like I punish myself. There was the birthday of my dad back in Belgium, and he did a weekend with the whole family and his friends, and it was really important for him that I was there and also for me to be there. But I didn't even consider the option of going. I do other things. For example, I don't buy new clothes, or I don't buy new things in general, because I only buy something if I really need it. I like to reuse. So, for example, this sweater, I found it in my grandparents' house, and it's an old one from my grandfather. It is important with renewable fashion to pay attention, because if every week you buy new clothes from Vinted, you're not especially doing something good. It's better not to buy it if you don't need it. As Europeans, we are responsible for a large part of the greenhouse gas emissions, and yet here we feel the effects less. So I am mostly angry for others.
Oriane is worried about where the climate is heading, with the global heat and ocean levels rising and the consequences that follow.
When I feel anxious, I know that if I go to nature, for example the beach, it calms me down.
For Oriane, the beach is a relaxing place, but also a place where she thinks about the actions necessary to fight climate change.
Individual actions are necessary, but they're not enough. Even if every citizen of the world would act perfectly regarding climate change, it wouldn't be enough. We need collective actions, we need governments to be involved, we need companies to be involved. Actually, at this point, where the crisis is at, we need everybody to be involved. We need all the layers of the society to be involved.
While Oriane is taking individual actions, there are also larger-scale efforts at motion. Go Green is a project in Aarhus fighting climate change. They are working on more than 60 projects that are separated into multiple categories about climate. Søren is working on the Go Green with Aarhus project and is focusing on the energy aspect.
If we take, the emission domain that I'm working on, energy, one very important thing is to make sure that we set up more solar panels and windmills in the municipality. I don't know if you've heard about NIMBY, not in my backyard. Everybody wants solar panels and windmills, but not so many people want them in their own backyard, right? So there might be opposition to that. So we will have to engage with citizens, local citizens, and trying to engage in a dialogue and find solutions so that we can set up these solar panels and windmills. So that's one of the projects that we are working on. The City Council decided way back in 2008, when 2030 was far ahead, that we want to be climate neutral in 2030. In practical terms, that would mean that we would have to take emissions down to zero. If you include all the same elements in calculating CO2 emissions per capita in Denmark, that would take you way beyond 20 tons per citizen. And we have to take that down to 2 in 2050. Can you imagine what that would take? I think we are in dire straits, to be honest. And that's your generation. This is serious. This is getting very, very serious.
We deserve a better future, and if we don't act, there will be no future for us. And if we do act, there will be a less worse future, which is already better than no future.